Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex, and I have some news updates from around the land of smiles for you today from the Thaiger this June 28th, a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Now, we're going to get started with our first story, which is dealing with a big old brawl between people who are not supposed to be here. That's right, illegal immigrants have been arrested in Samut Prakan during a feud raid. So police in Samut Prakan arrested 50 illegal Cambodian and Burmese immigrants after raiding a condominium due to a violent feud. The crackdown, involving over 50 officers, followed a brutal attack by 20 Cambodian workers on Myanmar teenagers, injuring one severely. Police discovered around 50 illegal residents during the raid and detained them for deportation. The operation, led by Police Major General Wichit, also resulted in the arrest of 2 Cambodian suspects involved in the attack, with efforts ongoing to apprehend the remaining group members. Come on, guys, if you're here illegally, there's like one thing you gotta do. Keep your nose clean, keep out of trouble. So, yeah, I mean, you know, there's plenty of migrant workers coming over from Cambodia, especially Myanmar with the conflict that's going on over there. Yeah, big old brawls are going to lead to police attention, and then all of a sudden, you're getting deported. So, if you are enjoying here, the land of smiles, under the table, better to stay out of trouble and not cause a big feud. So, yeah, this seems like it was a big old brawl. No one serious injury. Hopefully that person will be okay. But, yeah, fair warning. If you want to stay out of trouble, you got to do it yourself. Otherwise, you're going to face a little bit of deportation. Or worse, Thai prison. So, yeah, stay out of trouble, guys. Shano says, ethnic tension, so mean to each other. Agreed, man. Like, can't we all just get along? Sad stuff. All right, on to our next story, which has us delving into a scandal in Thai politics and a bit of murder. So a former deputy commerce minister has received the death sentence for murder. The Supreme Court has upheld the death sentence for Banyun Tangpakor, a former deputy commerce minister convicted of murdering construction tycoon Chuang Saitang. Now, Chuang died in a 2015 car crash, initially deemed accidental, but evidence showed Banyun staged the crash to cover up the murder. The initial court ruling in 2021 and the appellate court's decision in 2022 both found Banyun guilty of premeditated murder. The Supreme Court's recent decision reaffirms his death sentence, highlighting the severity of his crimes. The case has garnered significant attention due to its high-profile nature and brutal execution. Yeah, I mean, this is clearly conspiracy to commit murder. The evidence has been held up in court. You know, there are different levels, different degrees of murder. You have first degree, second degree, crimes of passion, right, in the moment. But the evidence has come in, and it seems that this was premeditated, which is exactly what the Thai court system needs in order to apply and execute the death penalty. Still legal in Thailand. You know, it's a funny distinction between many Western countries which have outlawed the death penalty, including many European countries, Australia, still alive and well in, pun intended, in the land of smiles and in around Asia, including more developed nations like Japan. So a very different take on crime and punishment here in Asia. I don't know. You guys decide. This does seem, if we are applying the death penalty, this does seem to be one of those cases where it does seem appropriate. But let me know your thoughts on capital punishment in the first place, but also particularly this case, which seemed to involve conspiracy at the highest levels. All right, on to the next story. So Thailand seems to have gotten the spotlight in kind of the wrong way, particularly Thai financing. A UN report has reported that Thai banks have aided the Myanmar junta's campaign. So that's right, a UN report has revealed Thai banks are crucial in funding Myanmar's military junta, enabling its violent crackdown on pro-democracy resistance and ethnic minorities. Since the 2021 coup, the junta has evaded US and EU sanctions by relying on Thai companies and banks, notably Siam Commercial Bank, SCB, I think some of you have that, which saw transactions for military procurement rise from $5 million to over $100 million in 2023. The report by UN Special Reporter Tom Andrews details the severe human rights violations by the Myanmar military, including civilian bombings resulting in over 5,000 deaths and 3 million people displaced. Andrews calls for international banks to cease facilitating these transactions. Yeah, that is a bit of the issue right now. So whenever these conflicts arise, particularly civil conflicts, sanctions get put into place. It's supposed to make it more difficult for funding the military operations. The U.S. and EU have dried up their funding for the military junta. Enter Thailand, it appears. So many of these finances have been done clandestinely. However, it has come to light through this UN report. Thailand obviously loves to maintain its neutrality and say, hey, woo, it's not our conflict. However, this is the exact opposite of neutrality. By providing funding for the military junta, that is essentially picking sides. So we'll see what kind of pressure is put on the Thai banking system from international players like the West. And I doubt China is really going to punish Thailand too much for this one. But yeah, now that this has come to light, we'll see how the West responds to the Thai banking system. So I don't know. For me, it's a clear side to take, and I would think the wrong one. So hopefully this kind of financing doesn't prolong the conflict, and we can see a resolution for what has been going on for more than a few years now over in Myanmar. Shano says, can't believe the Thai banks would do that. Me neither. There was a bit of a shocking report coming out of the UN today. Yeah, I don't know. I would expect better. But at the same time, money talks, and especially when it comes to military funding, that money moves quickly. So we'll see what the results are of this particular story. All right, now moving on to our next story. All right, we're heading into some local news and some badly behaving parents. A child was recently rescued from a locked car in Chon, Buri, and the parents have been severely warned. So in Chon, Buri, a 2-year-old child was rescued after being locked inside a car at a petrol station. Emergency responders from Tamirat Manirat Foundation arrived quickly, taking 20 minutes to unlock the Mitsubishi Expander Cross with its engine running. The child, unbothered, was playing inside while her anxious parents waited outside. The parents had stopped to use the restroom, not realizing the electric vehicle would lock automatically. Authorities warn against leaving children alone in cars, emphasizing the potential dangers. This incident had a safe outcome, but similar situations can quickly escalate. Terrifying stuff, you know. It's one of those things parents, right, like especially parents of younger children, newborns and infants, they get a little brain dead. After, some sleep deprivation or whatever, it takes a lot to raise a child. But, I mean, come on, guys. Like, you're stopping to take a bathroom break. You left the car running. All right, that's fine. But even if you left the car running unlocked, that runs the risk of, like, a kidnapping or something like that. So at always one time, some parent or some guardian needs to be watching the child to make sure everything is going hunky-dory. At the same time, I do feel for these parents. They were quickly on the scene. It's not like they left the child for an extended period of time or were just like shopping or something like that. They went in, they came out quickly, child was locked in, and now they had to deal with those consequences. So I'm glad that, it's just a warning for the parents. Hopefully the scare and shock of this incident will be enough to correct that behavior. But yeah, guys, if you got young kids, man, I know it's stressful, but you got to have your head on a swivel, and you got to make sure that that kid is okay, otherwise worse things can happen. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments about these parents' misdeed and what kind of things can be done to prevent such situations from occurring in the future. All right, moving on to our next story. We had a big lottery winner. However, is it legit? Now, a Thai woman's 90 million baht lottery win is currently under scrutiny. So this Thai woman's claim of winning 90 million baht in the lottery is under scrutiny due to doubts about the authenticity of her claim and her legal troubles. Her son allegedly found the tickets while attempting to steal money from her. Despite claims of a significant lottery win, neighbors question why she hasn't used the money to redeem her mortgaged house, which remains in disrepair. Now, Premani, the woman in question, faces eviction and has missed court-ordered mediation sessions. Police could arrest her if found outside her home. Authorities are investigating the lottery claim for potential fraud, and the government lottery office will need to verify the win. Yeah, a little fishy. All right, she's claiming to have won 90 million baht, but still has an underwater home that is currently in disrepair. So, hey girl, if you won 90 million baht, you kind of owe millions of baht already. Fork it over. So, who knows? Some people might use this as leverage for, hey, I got my 90 million baht, so blah, blah, blah. We can make some promises, make some scams. Hopefully it isn't a scam. Hopefully she is telling the truth, and this is just her lucky day, able to get her out of her financial troubles. However, it always makes you wonder, man, when people are that far underwater, that can lead to some desperate maneuvers. We'll see. Obviously, claiming the win is a lot different than actually receiving the money. That might be something that she could be saying to get the people off of her back for now, while she can make some other sort of move. Now, these are all allegations. We'll see what the investigation uncovers. But yeah, I don't know. Not a big fan of coincidence. And when somebody's in that deep of trouble, all of a sudden wins a lottery ticket where the odds are astronomical, makes me a little suspicious. So, yeah, obviously her neighbors feel the same way. Let me know what you guys think. All right, it's Friday. I gotta have a happy story to send you guys off into the weekend for the Thai side. Don't worry, I'll get depressing again on the ASEAN Now side after this. But a new Thai film, How to Make Millions, is now dominating the box offices here in the Land of Smiles. So, Thai filmmaker Pat Bunitipat's debut feature, How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies, has become a box office sensation. Initially created to support his family business and for his grandmother to see, the film has earned 334 million baht domestically since its April 4th premiere and has achieved remarkable success in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Taiwan, and globally, grossing 1 billion baht all around the world. The story follows M, a young man caring for his terminally ill grandmother to secure her inheritance. Starring Putipong and Usa, Pat drew inspiration from living with his own grandmother, resulting in a film that has emotionally resonated with audiences and sparked heartfelt reactions online. This is that Thai soft power we're all talking about. Korea is sort of laid the blueprint out for how to start, affecting the wider world with your cultural offerings. That came in the form of K-pop, came in the form of its TV series like Squid Game, came in the form of its movies like Parasite. So, and we were just talking about Lisa earlier over here in Blackpink. Now Lisa also is Thai. Guess what? This movie is Thai. Guess what? There's all sorts of new Thai productions coming to Netflix as well. So this is an interesting aspect to Thai policy and its efforts to try and increase its soft power around the world. Pretty soon we'll be seeing a Thai setting for A White Lotus, which is a huge HBO, Western production. The Land of Smiles is on the up and up, people, and I couldn't be happier about that. So getting the word out about how amazing this place is obviously going to lead to an influx of tourists, expats who want to live here, but it's also going to lead to an influx of capital investment. So we're going to see the development of Thailand accelerate in the near future due to soft power exercises like this. So I do encourage you guys, go check it out in the movies. It will be hitting the small screen soon too. And yeah, just give our Thai filmmakers and artists a little bit of love. All right, cool. Yeah, anyways, Mandalik said 50 watching, but only 15 likes. What's going on, people? Give me some likes, give me some subscribes. Always nice to see those numbers start pumping up over time. So thank you, Mandalik, for reminding everybody. All right, guys, so that'll do it for our Thailand news. But now we are heading over to our ASEAN news, checking out the wider region. Got two stories for you today coming out of Indonesia and Cambodia. So we're going to start over in Indonesia, where a Bali raid has led to the detention of 103 foreigners suspected of cybercrime. Now, Indonesian immigration authorities detained 103 foreign nationals in a Bali villa raid suspecting visa misuse and cybercrime involvement. The detainees, including Taiwanese, Chinese, and Malaysians, were found with computers and cell phones, suggesting potential cybercrime activities. The raid in Tabanan district led to the arrest of 91 men and 12 women who are now held in Denpasar. Photos show detainees lying by a swimming pool at the three-story villa. Authorities are investigating possible links to international syndicates and plan further operations to ensure compliance with immigration regulations and maintain order in Bali. How do you fit 103 people anywhere? Like, that's an insane amount of people, and obviously is going to raise some eyebrows, especially with everybody running around with laptops and cell phones, and then all of a sudden you're checking their visa status, and oh, wait a second, none of you are supposed to be here. What were you doing with those cell phones? What were you doing with those laptops? Good questions all around. So it's always nice to see, scams are just rampant these days. You really got to protect yourselves, guys. And be careful of who you find on Facebook offering you something that's too good to be true, because usually it is. But good on the authorities for cracking down. The suspects are coming from China, Taiwan, and Malaysia, which leads one to suspect that there might be connections to criminal organizations in those countries. So it's important that countries are able, or authorities from these different countries are able to communicate properly with each other in order to provide enforcement and make sure that these criminals are held accountable for their actions. So 103. We'll see what the punishment is. I think they have to still define what crimes they were actually committing over there. Right now, it's just an immigration violation, which of course will lead to deportation. However, if they are found to have been committing cyber crimes that led to financial fraud, they might be looking at the inside of an Indonesian prison, which, I don't hear very nice things about that kind of place. So good on them for stopping whatever the activities were. And we'll see what kind of punishments are coming the way of the wrongdoers. All right, guys. Now, moving on to our last story of the day, we're heading over to Cambodia. Now, a U.S. report has linked Cambodian officials as being complicit in human trafficking for, you guessed it, online scams. A U.S. State Department report has accused Cambodian officials of being complicit in human trafficking for online scams, placing Cambodia at the lowest Tier 3 rating for anti-trafficking efforts. Despite opening a victim support center and cooperating on investigations, the Cambodian government was criticized for not meeting minimum standards to combat trafficking. The report highlighted large-scale online scams operations in Cambodia, often run by Chinese syndicates using forced labor, generated over $12.5 billion annually. Experts claim the scam industry has state protection, with reports of police involvement in victim abuse and extortion. Cambodian authorities acknowledged challenges and requested U.S. support, but denied specific accusations of complicity. Yeah, denial makes sense. Obviously, this has been a problem. I was doing some research on the Malaysian Airlines airplane that went down, the MH370 that went down several years ago. Apparently, it was a big problem when Western authorities were trying to work with them, that they had hid information and were not very forthcoming for that. Very big problem when dealing with these Southeast Asian nations that still have big issues of corruption, particularly at the highest level, because for them, it's all about face, right? Like, it's all about, it wasn't our fault. We didn't do anything wrong. And when that is a motivator for leaders in these countries, that means that they're much more likely to hide information that is key to the investigations, that is key to figuring out what the hell happened in these situations. So, I don't know. Hopefully this kind of pressure from bigger nations that do work with these countries to try and stop these cybercrimes, because guess what? Many of these victims are American, right? So there are tons. America has a strong vested interest in trying to round up and stop a lot of these scam industries over in developing nations. So, yeah. We'll see what kind of pressure comes from the Western nations that are affected more prominently by these scam industries. However, it's not just Western nations, right? We see a lot of these syndicates are using human trafficking, coercing people into being scam artists. So the wronggoing, it's like a crime inception thing going on where people are being forced to commit crimes on behalf of other people, which leaves the syndicates and the higher-ups in those situations insulated from investigation and from punishment for the crimes that they are committing. We'll see. Hopefully the police can get more tools and authority to be able to track down and stop these operations, before they even start. Yeah, Pai Jesu says USA, no corruption. Yeah, obviously. Okay, corruption's everywhere. You know, I would like to think, and I still do, am of the belief system that there are systems in place in Western countries that are a little more resilient to methods of corruption. However, at the same time, the Supreme Court just made a ruling that we can now accept policy officials, people voting on policy or in courts, they can accept gratuities after certain rulings. So, hey, how do we get around? You can't pay me to make a ruling or to vote for a policy before I vote on it, but you can pay me afterwards. This is a Supreme Court ruling that just came through. Yeah, what am I talking about? There's still plenty of wrongdoing and high-level corruption in the West as well. You know, it's like, I don't know. I actually don't know what to say about it. We've legalized our system of corruption in America, so you know, it's hard to point fingers when you see wrongdoing happening everywhere. Best I can do is try to call it out, call some attention to it, and maybe get some pressure in the right direction. You know, I'm just little old me here at the Thaiger, but I still call it like I see it, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing just that. All right, guys. Well, anyways, that'll do it for our news from around the Land of Smiles and the greater ASEAN region. You can always go to thetiger.com to get more updates throughout the day. And I do encourage you guys to go check out ASEANnow.com, where you can join the forums, you can catch up on more news from the greater region, and also join the conversation. There are plenty of people in there, like-minded individuals and not so like-minded individuals that you can duke it out with. But it's always fun, and actually, honestly, I'm laughing every day because of some of the threads these guys come up with. What's our recent one? Like, how do you deal with the pressure of being considered a sexpat here in Thailand, huh? I'm just here on vacation. Why does everybody think I'm out for that stuff? That's a fun thread going on over on ASEAN Now right now. Please go join the conversation over there.